Greetings, this is this, and I am me, and actually, I already took the test. And so I could have titled this video, I took an IQ test, but that seemed like really gross, you know? I don't like when people title videos like that. I blah 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 blah, you know? So, let's leave the title the way it is. I mean, you guys have no say in that. Only I do, but whatever. Here's what happened. I have this book here, okay, of IQ tests. And I flipped to a random one, test 10 here. And I recorded taking this test. It's 40 questions, and I recorded for an hour. And I got through 28 of those questions. And I only even answered 12 of them. So guys, it was not very successful. Then, I took another test because I was like, this was ridiculous. I was so bad at it. It took me so long. So I was like, I'm going to try a different one, but I wasn't recording anymore. So I took another test number 8, and it took me an hour. So it was the same amount of time as the first one. But I got through all of the questions. I didn't answer all of them, but I got through all of them in that hour, okay? So that one was a lot better. And so that's the one I'm going to go through right now, and I'm going to tell you guys my thought process for the questions that I did, and I'll read you the questions that I didn't do, but, you know, I'm just going to say I skipped that one because I didn't know what to do about that one, okay? Because it's going to speed things up a lot. An hour to not even get through the whole thing was absolutely too long. And I have a notebook page with like answers written on it and some work shown on it, but I also have which ones are correct on that. Like I have little correction marks, and I want to save that until the end, so I'll show you guys that after. Right now I'll just go through the questions. So for the first one here, question number 1, what comes next? Oh, and also, well, I'll say that after at the end. What comes next? So we've got this sequence here. A dot, and then like a non-filled in one, and then a filled in one, and then a dot, 2 non-filled in ones, filled in one, non-filled in one, and then a filled in one. As you can see, some of them I have the things written here, and some of them I don't. But as you can see, I picked A, because I thought that there was 1 not filled in one, and then a black, and then there was 2 not filled in ones, and then a black. So then there should be 3 not filled in ones, and then a black. Right? So I eliminated C. I didn't think C had enough squares anyway. It has less than all the other ones. And then I thought this has 1 in between here, so maybe that goes up 2, and so it goes to 2 in between. And then it always ends on a black, so it should end on a black. So that's why I picked this one. Okay, so we'll find out if that's right at the end, but that's what I picked. Number 2, what number is missing from the left-hand circle? I thought about this one for quite a while, and I didn't get an answer. I tried to add some of these numbers up, see if they made the bigger number. I tried to multiply. I multiplied 10 times 11 times 15. It was a way bigger number than that. So I tried a couple things, couldn't figure that out. Next one. Add 1 letter, not necessarily the same letter, to each word to find 2 words that are opposite in meaning. I didn't think about this one very much because it's not really my forte, so I skipped this one. I tried to just find a letter that I could add to either of these words to make a word, and I wasn't having very much luck. So, you guys can have fun trying to figure those out if you want. Okay, so this one up here. Pair the 8 words below to form 4 longer words. I was putting dots underneath the words as I was using them, so that I knew that they were used already. So, there was a couple of options here. Like I saw woodland, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can do that. Or, what was another one that I saw that I ended up not going with? Firework was another one. I think they might be trying to trick you with those ones next to each other like that. So I saw firework and I saw woodland. I tried to do the ones that seemed like there was going to be less options for them first. So I did mainland. Okay, that makes sense, right? Then I did firewood. and I did gridiron and workload. Those are all words, right? So that one seemed like got that in the bag. Number 5, find the number to replace the question mark. Okay, this one I thought I might be able to do because I did notice something about it, but sadly I didn't come up with an answer. So you'll see later when I show you my notebook page some work that I did for this. But basically I saw these numbers over here and how on this side it started with a 2 and it ended with a 9, and then this one also started with a 2 and ended with a 9. So I was like, okay, this one must start with a 2 and end with a 9, but there's no 2 or 9 in this, so that wasn't the case. Because all of these numbers are just rearranged here, and all of these numbers are just rearranged here. It's the exact same set of numbers, just in a different order. But like I said, I didn't get an answer for that one. Number 6, what do these words have in common? I didn't get an answer for this one either. I thought maybe something about a lot of them have double letters, like 2 letters that are the same next to each other, like LL and then LL here. But then I was like, okay, well, those are like the only ones that are like that. So then I thought, oh, but they maybe all have repeat letters. Like this has 2 I's, this has 2 A's, this has a lot of repeat letters, this has 2 E's, but spearmint over here doesn't have any repeat letters, so that wasn't the case either. So I skipped that one, because I found out after doing the first, after doing the first test that was just a miserable fail, I found out that I should skip them a lot quicker if I don't know the answer. So that's what I ended up doing. But this one also had so much better questions than the other one. The other one I was doing was some sort of hack. I'm sorry. It was just ridiculous. Okay. What letter should replace the question mark? Ooh, okay. So this one, I thought of something and I did it. I don't think I can really explain it without showing you guys, though. You know what? I'll just have to show you that one after, when I show you guys my paper. But I got W as an answer, just so you know. And I had a technique. It wasn't just random. Number 8. Insert the letters of the phrase "an agent's gamma" into the following blanks only once each to complete a palindromic sentence. And I already knew what a palindrome was, but they tell you anyway. That is one that reads the same backwards and forwards. For example, "Madam, I'm Adam." Also, "sit on a potato pan, Otis." So this one, you'll be able to see on the thing also. I know it seems pointless that I'm not showing you guys that right now, but I want to keep the ones that I got correct a secret. It's very important. Otherwise, you'll know how much of an idiot I am, or how smart I am, I guess, too soon. And I want it to be a big reveal at the end. So, for this one, they already gave you a T and an E. And so I wrote down all of the different blanks, and then if you know there's an E over here, then you know there's an E in the exact same spot on the other side, because it has to be the same forward and backward, like the word race car. And then there was a T that was the third letter in, so I put a T, the third, to the last letter. So then I knew that the S went in the middle because there was apostrophe S, but also because it was the only letter that didn't have a second one. You know, there was no double of it, so it couldn't be an S on this side and on this side because there was only one S. So I put that in the middle. Then I looked at the letters that I had left over, and I figured out how, so there was 4 A's left over, so I knew that there needed to be 2 A's on each side. And then there was 2 M's, 2 N's, and 2 G's, so I knew that there was going to be 1 of each on each side. Does that make sense? And then I kind of just noticed that this side could be written as name tag based on the letters that I had and the letters that I needed to put there. And so then it was easy to make this be Gateman's name tag, which makes sense for Doorkeeper's ID. Number 9. Dawn is today as winter is too. So I figured dawn is the start of the day. So winter is the start of the seasons, right? Because it's winter, spring, summer, fall. And like if the year starts at January, then the first season is winter. So I picked season. What phrase is indicated here? I didn't think about this one very much because I thought of an answer, but it didn't really make very much sense, but I just kept going anyway because I was like, maybe it's right, and I don't know what else it would be. So it's the word over, and it's kind of like moving like this, but I just thought of the word leftover, and I know it's not going to the left, it's going to the right, but I mean, I figured if you read it like this, like over, it's going to the left, so left over. So that's what I thought of, leftover. Moving on. Number 11, what number should replace the question mark? Ooh, okay, I actually felt smart for this one because I was noticing something pretty early on. So for these, I usually try to like tally up each row and see if they are like coming to the same amount or like each column, or I try to see if there's a pattern or something. So for this one, if you do 2 plus 3, you get 5, and if you do 4 plus 2, you get 6. So this is 5 and this is 6. And then for this one, 6 plus 1 is 7, and 4 plus 4 is 8. So you have 7, 8. And for this one, 4 plus 2 is 6, and 2 plus 5 is 7, so 6, 7. So each time, there's this side's sum is 1 bigger than this side's sum. So for down here, it was 5 plus 3 is 8, so I thought 7 plus 2 would be 9, and that would follow the same pattern. So I did 2 for that. Solve the clues to find 4 6-letter words. The same 3 letters are represented by XYZ in each word. I skipped this one because the one that seemed to have the like snare, I just kept thinking of rabbit. And so I was like, well, that would fit. It's a 6-letter word. But BIT doesn't seem like something that would be very helpful for these other words. And hangs fabric seemed like the most promising place for me to guess an answer, because that seemed pretty specific, but I couldn't think of what a word for that would be. I just kept thinking of like a clothesline, and I'm like, I know that's not what they're talking about, so I skipped it. Which 2 words that sound alike but are spelled differently mean solitary and advance? So I just thought of solitary as alone and advance as like going forward or moving forward or something like that. So I couldn't think of anything for that one. What are the missing letters? So for this one, there's a couple in a row that I didn't have answers for, but I'm sorry, they were too difficult for me. I did think about them though. So this one, what I tried to do was equate each one of the letters with a number as far as where it is in the alphabet. So like J is 10 and M is 13. And so I wrote down that for all of the letters and saw if there was a number pattern, and I couldn't see anything, so I moved on. This one, fill in the word in the crossword below. I hate these ones. They're too difficult. So obviously I knew that each of these was a dance, right? And so I tried to use all of my knowledge of Dancing with the Stars to think about all of the different dances that they've done on that show, to see if I could think of one that had an I as the second letter and a T at the end. And I couldn't think of one, okay? I was like, okay, the Paso Doble, the jig, lyrical, like, I couldn't think of one, so I had to skip that. Number 16, which is the odd one out? So naturally, with these, I started to try and count the number of shapes that were made in these shapes. So like for this one, it's diamonds. So I tried to count how many diamonds were like within all of these diamonds. And then I did the same with the triangles. And I tried to see like, if they're going to have the same number or not. But then I got down here to these pentagons and the squares. And the pentagons aren't making any smaller pentagons, and the squares aren't making any smaller squares. So then I got really confused, and I didn't know which of these to pick, so I picked C. Okay. Number 17, which is the odd word out? Compress, diminish, ebb, vanish, deplete. Okay. I hate these two because these all seem so similar to me. But anyway, I had narrowed it down to either compress or vanish, because diminish, ebb, and deplete all seemed close enough to me in my brain. So those ones were fine. I was like, okay, yes, those ones are all the same. So it was either compress or vanish, compress or vanish, compress or vanish. I thought vanish is like too much. You know, these other ones, it's like things going down. And compressing is like things going down. But vanish is like things being gone. But then I thought, well, if you deplete something or if you diminish something, it's things being gone also. So I ended up saying vanish was okay and compress was the odd one out. Okay, we're not even halfway through yet. This is ridiculous. I gotta go faster. Fill in the consonants to complete 4 words that have the same meaning. Supposed to mean open-handed. So I was like, okay, so like giving, you know, charitable, that sort of thing. But I didn't know, so I skipped it. I didn't want to think about it for too long because I'm not good at those ones. Move from letter to letter horizontally and vertically, but not diagonally, to spell out a 12-letter word. You have to find the starting point and provide the missing letters. This one I just knew was not going to happen. But I thought it was like S-I-O-N near the end. Like I thought that was the ending of the word. But then I was like, well, you can't really get to that though without moving diagonally. Because you need to go like blam, 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 you know, that sort of thing. I skipped it. Place the letters in the grid to make a warm-blooded and a cold-blooded animal. So this one I initially started to try to think of the cold-blooded animal first. Like I was trying to think of different reptiles and stuff and see if I could make any of them in here. And so I was like snake, but there's no N. So I couldn't do snake. And I couldn't find anything. But then I sort of noticed llama. I just kind of randomly found llama in here and I was like, okay, that would be really random if the, you know, animal they picked was llama, but I'll go with it. So I wrote down llama and then I saw what letters I had left over and I saw that they could make the word skate and I was like, I think skate is a reptile. I think it's like a lizardy type thing, right? I don't know. So I put that. Which 4-letter word placed inside the parentheses will complete these words? Nothing. Skipped it. Place 2 of the 4-letter groups together to make a word. Aha, okay, so these ones I like because they're kind of like process of elimination. Just try everything with everything else and then see which one makes the most sense. So I kind of tried this first because I knew that this would be an ending. Ings. So I tried a couple of different things, but what I ended up going with was spit, spit and then full to make spiteful. Spiteful is a word. Which word will carry on the sequence? Ugh. Okay, guys. This one, got all these words here, and then you got all these words here, and they seemingly, like, make no sense. They don't seem to go together in any way. But I basically was thinking Yuletide. Yuletide is like, you know, Christmas time, right? So I thought Yuletide is either got to be... For some reason, I'm either going to go with overtone or exciting. Because, like, overtone, like, maybe Yuletide, it's, like, the overtone of the season or something. Or exciting, because Yuletide is, like, an exciting time of year. I was between those two, and I went with D, overtone. 24. Find a 6-letter word made up of only the following 4 letters. This one I saw immediately. Pajama. 25. Change this fraction to a decimal. Okay. 7/8. I was pretty sure I already knew what decimal it was. 0.875. But I did the math anyway. Here, I need to turn my answer page. Okay, yes. I did the math anyway. I'll show you guys later, but it is 0.875. At least that was my calculations. Leg is to fibula as arm is to. So fibula is a bone in the leg. And ulna is a bone in the arm. Your radius is this bone, and your ulna is this bone. So that's what I picked for that, ulna. Rearrange the 2 5-letter words to form a 10-letter word meaning kind to stranger. I don't know why I didn't say the S. I really hate that I didn't put an answer down for this one because I feel like I did think that in my brain, what the correct answer is. You guys might be able to see it. It seems very clear to me now, and I feel like I thought it, but I didn't write anything, so skip that one. Which of the following is associated with Hazlitt? I had absolutely no clue what this was. So I just guessed. What did I pick? D. Kippers. I had no clue. Which word can be placed on the end of these words to make new words? This one I got pretty quickly. Age. Okay, like garbage. Damage. Okay? Easy. What is the symbol for chromium? Okay, now I knew it wasn't C because that's carbon, and I knew it wasn't CH because that's chlorine, I think. So it was between the rest of these, and CR seemed like something I had seen before, so I went with C. CR. 31. Fill in the missing letters to name a group of cats. I did not know this one. I was like, I don't know, felines? That doesn't fit. 32. Fill in the missing letters to spell out different foods. I also didn't know this one. I was like, are you kidding me? There's so many foods in the world. How would I ever guess this? So I skipped that one. Now, they give you a maximum of 90 minutes to complete this test, and I only took an hour, so I could have gone back to some of the questions and spent a little more time, but the second part of me doing this, I was in a car, and I was getting a little nauseous from reading the book, so I just stopped when I got done. What does orography deal with? I had absolutely no clue, guys. I thought, okay, it might not be caves because, like, spelunking is caves, so maybe that has something, like, maybe the word like this would kind of sound like spelunking. So I went with C, lakes, just randomly. I was like, if it's a multiple choice question, I might as well try to answer it, just guess. Make up 4 pairs of words to find the odd one. Ugh, this one was difficult because the first thing I saw, sorry that they're crossed out now, but the first thing I saw was ice bath, but then also bath salts. So I didn't know if it should be ice bath or bath salts. So I tried to find, but then I gave up on that and I found green peppers. So I did that. And then I ended up going with with bath salts and ice magic, even though I was pretty sure that wasn't a thing that an IQ test would have, ice magic. But whatever. And then I had square, flow, and token left over, and I didn't know what flow meant. So I just did square, token, and I was like, okay, flow's the odd one out, even though I knew it probably wasn't the odd one out because it's like the weirdest word out of all these words. It's like it's the word that people would most likely not know, I feel like. So I thought I was probably wrong, but I went with that anyway. What is associated with gnocchi? Now, I know about this from Curious George. If you watch the Curious George show, the chef has a cat named Gnocchi. And so I knew it was a dish, and I knew it was kind of like noodly or ricey, I thought. So I thought either tapioca or dumplings. I had narrowed it down to tapioca or dumplings. I was like, it's probably close to both of those things, because like tapioca pudding is like lumpy and ricey, I feel like, but then dumplings are also, like, I thought they were maybe mini dumplings, or else it was rice. So I picked tapioca for that one. To what does the adjective diaconal refer? I had no clue for this one also, but it was multiple choice, so I guessed, and I picked diamond-shaped, because it kind of sounded like geometric, so that's what I went with. Deltiology is the study of, now I kind of just saw delt and thought of like a delta, like a river mouth, and so I clicked river mouths, but I was pretty sure that was like a trick to fall into, but that's what I went with for that one. One man can mow a lawn in 6 hours, and another man can mow the same lawn in 3 hours. If they both worked together at their respective rates, how long would they take? So for this one, I remembered that there was a way to figure this out, but I also didn't want to think about how to figure this out. This is when I was getting to the end, and I suppose I was getting a little lazy. And so basically what I went with is, it's not going to take 6 hours, but it's not going to take 3 hours either. It's going to take like somewhere in the middle of that, because this person's going to be slowing this person down, but this person's going to be speeding this person up. So I went with 4 hours. It's not official at all, but that's what I guessed. This next one, along the same lines of me guessing for a whole bunch of them in a row, I guess I got really lazy. But the claviform also sounded like, oh, I guess these are all shaped, so that makes sense. But it sounded like cleaver to me, and there was no cleaver option here. So I thought, okay, it's going to be either club-shaped or sword-shaped, because those are both like weapons. And so I was really inclined to go with club-shaped, but I ended up going with sword-shaped because I thought maybe this is trying to trick me because they both start with a C, so I'll go with this one. And then last but not least, what number should replace the question mark? Just like a little side note, the other test that I did, the first one that I tried, had so many questions like this. Which number should replace the question mark? And they were like way hard. I couldn't answer like any of them. This test didn't have very many, and I feel like I actually found out the answers for a lot of them. So this one I saw pretty quickly. I was trying, as usual, to like add these things and then add these things and see if they did something with the middle number, or like subtract these and subtract these, or subtract these and these, that kind of thing. And then what I ended up doing is, I think, taking the diagonals, right? So 9 times 7 is 63, minus 5 times 4 is 20, so 63 minus 20 is 43. And then the same thing works for here. So 8 times 7 is 56, minus 3 times 3 is 9, 47. It works for that one too, and so then I just did it for over here. 12 times 5 is 60, minus 4 times 2 is 8, so 60 minus 8 is 52. That's all of the questions. Okay, now I'm going to tell you guys which ones I got right and which ones I got wrong. So here's my paper. Okay, question 1. This one, I got that one right, guys. Woohoo! I just was kind of guessing, but I did it. The next one that I had answered was number 4. The mainland, firewood, blah, blah, blah one, I also got right. Then the next one that I got, okay, this one that I said I can't really explain to you until I show you. So what I did for this is I wrote down the whole alphabet. And then there's an 18 and a 7 and an S. So I found the 18 and I boxed that in. And I found the 7 and I boxed that in. And then I found the S and I circled that. And it came right after the R, right? And so then the next part had a 4 and a 21 and an E. So I circled the 4 and I circled the 21 and then I boxed in the E and it was right after the D. So both times the letter came right after the first number. So 18 and then there was an S, and 4 and then there was an E. So I was like, okay, well this number is 22. So what comes right after the 22? W. So I picked W, and I got it right. The Gate Man's name tag one, I got right. Number 9. So this one, I got wrong. Dawn is today. I guess I was seeing dawn as the start of the day, but in actuality, dawn precedes day. So dawn comes right before day. So therefore, winter doesn't come right before season. That doesn't make sense. Winter comes right before spring. So spring is the actual answer. I got that wrong. 10 leftover was my answer. I also got that wrong, but I don't remember what the answer was. Let me check. Bend over backwards. Bend over backwards. That was the phrase. I mean, leftover was good too. Number 11 that I put the 2 in here for, I got correct, which is cool. Then the next one that I even tried was 16. Oh, this one. So I had picked C, but I narrowed it down between C and a D, and it was D. So you'll notice that as a common theme in the coming up ones is I had it narrowed down between 2 things, and I picked the wrong thing, unfortunately. So it was actually a lot easier than I was making it out to be also. This is 3 big diamond shapes. This is 3 big triangles. This is 3 big pentagons. But this is 4 big squares. That was the difference. I don't know why I didn't see that. Number 17, which is the odd one out. Now, if you'll remember, I said that compress was the odd one out, but it was between compress and vanish, and the actual one is vanish. So I got that wrong too. What's next? Llama and skate is the next one that I actually had an answer for, and I got that right. Yeah! Now, I could be telling you guys the answers to all these ones that I didn't answer, but I'm not going to, because that would take even longer, and those ones don't matter. I mean, they matter to you guys who are trying to figure them out on your own, but you'll have to look up the answers yourself somehow. I don't know. Spiteful, I got correct. This one I said D overtone, but it was between that and exciting. The answer was exciting, but not for my reasoning. It was exciting simply because the end of each letter, the end letter of each word is the start letter of the next word. R, R, N, N, Y, Y, E, exciting. I should have seen that. Pajama, I got correct. 7/8, that's on the, see, I did the math, the division, I got it right. 26, ulna, I got that one right. 28, I got this one wrong. I think it's entrails. I think that's the actual answer. The age one, I got right. Chromium, I got right. And then there's a whole string of bad ones in a row here, guys. 33, orography does not deal with lakes. It deals with, I think, mountains. Yeah, mountains. Okay, and then the one after that would be this one. Okay, sorry, glare. This one on the top here, I got that wrong. It's actually 34. Token is the odd one out because it is bath salts and green peppers. It's ice, flow, and magic square. So I got that wrong. This one I got wrong too. Not tapioca, it is dumplings. I wish I had just picked dumplings, you know? 36 I got wrong. The actual answer is deacon. 37 I got wrong. The actual answer is, I think, picture postcards. 38 I got wrong, but that's not surprising. 38, here's the math. Here's how to do it right there. It's 2 hours. So super quick. 39, it's club-shaped, guys. The answer was club-shaped. I almost picked that. I actually thought that more than sword-shaped, but I didn't pick it. And 40, I got correct. So, the big reveal. How many did I get right? Here's the scoring thing out front here. Okay? This is the number, like if you get this number right, you are this. Okay? I got a grand total of, well, let me just double check and count again. Okay, yes, if my calculations are correct, I got a grand total of 13 correct. So, you could say that I'm below average, but that's, not actually a thing. It's not on the chart. If you are below average, that is, if you get something below 14, you just don't exist. Or you're off the charts. So, yeah. But if you counted all the ones that I got wrong, even though I was considering the right answer, like if I just guessed those right, I probably would be average. So that's good. But this is a very learned thing. If you take a lot of these tests, you'll get more like in the vibe and in the pattern of it, and you'll do better. I could tell already just from taking the first one to the second one. Because I'd taken a couple of them before, but like years and years ago. So, yeah. I mean, it's kind of I don't trust it the most as far as testing people's intelligence, because if you just test, if you practice these enough, it's like the SATs. If you practice them enough, you sort of learn them and you get better at them. You might not necessarily be super smart, but you're good at taking these tests specifically. So, I don't know. That's that, guys. Sorry that I was just talking so super fast for 39 minutes straight, but can you believe it took that long? Even just to go through the whole test, like, without me even thinking? That was just me talking about the test. That's crazy. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye now.